After a group of high school students all mysteriously die after watching a supposedly cursed videotape, a reporter takes on the story but maybe gets a little bit too involved after she herself becomes cursed. Hello and welcome back to Fatal Film, a watch-along horror movie video series where every 2 weeks I give you guys a horror movie and then we sit down, we talk about it. This week we watched the 1998 Japanese horror classic, Ring. Now the 1998 movie Ring, or Ringu, it's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal, especially in the realm of Japanese horror, or J-horror as people call it. This movie was a big trendsetter and it inspired a ton of copycats and really cemented kind of like the look of the ghost girl with the long black hair. This is the movie that really started that. I'm a huge fan of the 2002 remake, and there were several points in this film where I was kind of just like making direct comparisons. I'm just like, oh man, you can tell in so many scenes where the Western remake just copied certain things, copied certain shots, and it was kind of fun to watch it from that angle. But at the same time, we really got to look at this movie as its own standalone thing and kind of forget about the Western remake, because this is the original after all. This is what started everything. So I'm sure a lot of you already know the story and kind of like the curse of the ring. Basically, it's a cursed videotape, and this videotape contains tons of strange imagery and sounds, and it's all in black and white, and the videotape kind of ends with this shot of a well. And there's kind of like just a little bit of subtle movement coming out of the well right before the tape ends. So once you finish watching the tape, you'll receive a phone call. And that phone call will say 7 days. And basically what that means is after you've watched the tape, you receive the phone call, you have 7 days left to live, and then the ghost, Sadako, will come and kill your ass. And during those 7 days, you'll kind of be haunted by the ghost, this ghost girl. Her name is Sadako. She's got this long black hair. Another strange phenomenon, like, pictures of you taken within that 7-day period, your face will be all warped and distorted. Sadako can come at you in your dreams, and she'll grab your arm, and you'll kind of have like this handprint left on your arm. The curse in the videotape itself, they're so damn creepy, and the noises and the imagery they use are so unsettling, and it's very like abstract. They're not in your face, super creepy. There's no jump scares or anything like that. It's the subtlety and the nuance to it, which just gives you this unsettled kind of feeling. And that's kind of like the film itself. There's no instant gratification. There's no gimmick here. There's no cheap thrill. It's a movie that is a slow burn, admittedly. It delivers its tension, suspense, and scares through atmosphere and its silence, its reluctancy to kind of go all out, its reluctancy to over-explain itself and overstay its welcome. It really is a less is more type of approach. So this movie starts off with these two high school girls, and they're home alone, and one of them had watched the videotape 1 week prior. And she doesn't think she's in any immediate danger or anything like that, but lo and behold, she ends up dying in the opening scene. I love the use of like the black and white, like the zoom-ins and the freeze frames that this movie uses to kind of indicate that, oh, something bad happened to this person. So the girl that got killed in the opening scene, her aunt is a reporter. She takes on the story of these mysterious deaths of these high school students who all mysteriously died at the exact same time in different locations. So she traces the story back to this cabin, and it just so happens that all of the students who mysteriously died stayed at this cabin together exactly 1 week prior to dying. And at this cabin, she finds it. The videotape. She finds the cursed videotape, and of course, she watches it. After she watches the tape, she's kind of like dumbfounded just as much as the audience is, because it is really a weird-ass tape. And she knows that something is off as soon as she finishes watching this tape, because she can see in the reflection of the CRT television, she sees the reflection of Sadako, the ghost. And the thing I love about this scene, and the thing I love about kind of like the little scares peppered throughout this film, is it's not accompanied with like any overblown like jump scare music or audio cues or anything like that, kind of like an ooh, we gotcha type thing. It doesn't do that. It's a lot more subtle. It makes it that much more real. So after she watches the videotape, she gets the phone call. She knows kind of like, okay, this might be real. She might be in danger. And now the pressure is on to get to the bottom of this and really figure out what is going on here. And she takes the videotape with her, she brings it into work, she investigates it, she examines it. Disaster really strikes after her son gets a hold of the tape and he himself watches it. And now not only is her life in danger, but her child as well. So she enlists the help of her ex-husband to help her investigate as well. And it's not to say that she was super incompetent or anything like that. She's a fine reporter, she's a fine investigator. But it really is the ex-husband who kind of does most of the legwork on the investigation. And so of course he watches the tape as well, so basically they're all in it at this point, and it's kind of a race against the clock to get to the bottom of what this tape is about, who this ghost girl is, why are these kids dying, why are these people dying, why is this cursed? And it really is like a race against the clock. You really feel that pressure because the movie goes out of its way to tell you exactly how much time has passed. And, at the beginning of each day, it'll tell you what day it is, how much time they have left. There's a big mystery element to this film as well. They're investigating this tape and who these people are in this tape and what does it mean? Who is this ghost girl? And then not only the ghost girl herself, Sadako, but also her mother. I feel like a lot of the mystery and the origin of this tape has more to do with Sadako's mother than anything. And it was really interesting to see also some of the more supernatural elements to this film as well that was completely absent in the Western remake. So the ex-husband, he has this ability to kind of look into people's pasts. There's this one scene in particular where he has kind of like this vision and he goes into the past and he takes his wife as well, and she goes and she sees the same vision, and they kind of see like some of the origins of Sadako and how evil she was, and she could kill people just by looking at them, and she had powers herself. It was really, really interesting. So their investigation, it takes them to an island, and then they come back, and it pretty much goes full circle, and they go all the way back to the cabin where they discovered the tape in the first place. And it turns out that the well from the videotape was underneath the cabin that they were staying. So Sadako was killed, she was left at the bottom of the well, but she was still alive, where she remained and suffered for 7 days, and that's where kind of like the 7 days of the curse comes from. And I was watching the scene when they, discovered the well, and they had to go inside of it, and, the well still had water in it and shit like that, and, they did their best to use buckets to drain it, but I'm just like, okay, have you guys taken enough water out of the well? Can't you just feel around for Sadako's body? Do you gotta take all of the water out of the well? Because this scene went on for so long, and it was stressing me out. So the girl, she eventually goes down into the well after she got tired of trying to take up the buckets of water. So she finds the body of Sadako down at the bottom of the well, and she's picking it up and she's holding it, and her hair was kind of still intact, and I'm just like, ugh, it's so gross. But she was running out of time. This was at the end of the 7th day, and you know what? The time had passed. It had been more than 7 days. Boom. Curse lifted. They think they did it. They completed their task. No more curse. It's all good. But no. But no, Sadako, she's an evil bitch. She ain't ever gonna stop. So the husband, it had been 7 days for him, but hell no. Sadako came for his ass. Doesn't matter that she got a proper burial. Doesn't even matter. She came for him anyways. And this is like at the end of the film, and this was the first time we really see what happens to somebody after 7 days had passed. She straight up comes out of the TV screen. She comes out of the TV screen, and this is all practical effects. This is like super creepy payoff. And he's panicking and he's falling all over the place, and I'm just like, dude, run, get the hell out of there. But no, she ends up killing him with just one cockeye. She just gives him the stink eye, and he dies, dude. It's like, I don't even know how they did that, man. She just gave him the stink eye. It was pretty intense. So the reporter, she discovers her ex-husband's body, and she's kind of perplexed because he watched the videotape after she did. So it's kind of like, what did she do differently? And then it kind of dawns on her. She made a copy of the tape and then showed it to her husband. Other than that, they did everything the same. So that's kind of like the only way to rid yourself of the curse is to pass it on to someone else. That shit is rough. And the movie kind of ends like somewhat open-endedly because we don't know how the reporter is going to pass off her son's curse to somebody else. And it's kind of implied that she was planning on passing it on to her father, which is really messed up. It's like, can you not find anybody else? Is there no other way? God damn! And that's kind of like the movie itself. It doesn't give you all the answers. It leaves a lot to your imagination, which is really what makes it that much more creepy. All in all, I really like this movie. I give this movie like an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I'm fully aware it's probably not going to be for everybody. It is a bit of a slow burn, and it's going to really reward those people who are willing to sink their teeth into it and, kind of really dive into the story and kind of like the lore of the curse and everything that's going on. But anyways, that is going to be it for my review of the 1998 Japanese horror film Ring. And for next episode, I was thinking about what I want to review next, and this is one I've been wanting to do for a little while because back in October, I watched this little Netflix series called The Haunting of Hill House, and I absolutely loved it. And ever since, I kind of been curious about the story and, the book that it's based on, Shirley Jackson's Haunting of Hill House. And, that's not the first adaptation that has ever been done. So we're gonna go all the way back and watch the 1963 adaptation, The Haunting. I've never seen it before. I hope it's gonna be good. We'll find out and we'll talk about it in 2 weeks' time. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.